Alright, so I'm going to try to explain traditional Ahrimanism in its most base form and the easiest for people to understand. Because I guess a lot of people just aren't getting it, and they obviously don't want to take the time out to read the material. So, first thing is, we are a theistic religion. In other words, we really believe in the invisible, as we call it. We really believe in the spiritual or the aether, or however you want to classify the spiritual side of life, and we are spiritualist. This is a belief for us. So to us, Angra, Mainyu, the devil, is real. To us, the devas are real. They are invisible, and they work with what we call the mundane physical reality along with the invisible. And so it's a working together. We are at heart a monoism religion. In other words, monoism is we have our dedication to one particular deity that we dedicate most of our worship and admiration to, but we also understand that there are other deities that we can appeal to work sorcery. So to us, in the Dakhma of Angra Mainyu is the main deity of worship, but we also understand that through sorcery, you work with other devas or other druids or other divs or whatever to help accomplish your goals, and those would be specific mantras or prayers or rituals outside of your normal daily practice. We are a dualistic religion, but we do not rely upon our enemy to survive. In other words, we have our own internal things as its own religion. We have our own prayers, mantras, rituals, yoga, so on, that the religion can sustain itself without an enemy. But at the same time, we do believe in duality, and we do believe in attacking our enemy's spiritual strongholds, our enemy's spiritual battles, their gods, their angels, their whatever. And we will attack those. Because the point is, Angra Mainyu is seen as it's the most destructive spirit, but it doesn't mean destruction, it means anguish. So through anguish is how you're destroying the person. That's why we say we will vex them so that life will not be wanted. In other words, our goal is to make life such a living hell and to have such anguish in others' lives that they want to kill themselves. That doesn't mean that we are taking on that kind of anguish. One of the questions is would we call ourselves stoicism or stoic? No. Part of our religion, when we're dealing with the yoga and we're dealing with the mantras and the meditations, is to form an apathy. An interior and an exterior apathy. And a genuine apathy, not just like the normal guy, I don't care, which is somebody begging for attention. No, it's a generalized internal and external apathy. So it's not that we're enduring the anguish and just not complaining about it and trying to be strong through it, it's just we don't care. We're apathetic to the anguish. We're apathetic to others' anguish. Because that apathy gives us the control to maintain logical progression and all the attacks or all the workings or all the goals that we're headed towards. And it leaves for logic to pervade over everything. And then, yes, I just discussed duality. Question is that everybody keeps coming to is where do we come from? Where's all this stuff coming from? And usually we just tell people Zoroastrianism and leave it at that, because majority of people don't even know what Zoroastrianism is, and we don't have time to put up with their cognitive dissonance. We just don't. And once you get somebody in cognitive dissonance, they don't even care what you're saying anymore anyway. So the bottom line is, to make it easy, our religion comes from traditional Zervanism, old Zoroastrianism, which is a combination and a corruption, if you will, of Vedic Hinduism. So there are that elements as well. Yazidism, because Yazidism is actually a branch off of Zoroastrianism, but it's unlike Islam. And the whole mythology talks about Ahura Mazda creating the peacock, Ahura Mazda creating the eagle, Ahriman corrupting it into the peacock, and then you have the story of Malek Taus from there. And that is the entity spoken of in Yazidism as Ahriman, the one whose name is never mentioned. Everybody says it's Shaitan, but it's not Shaitan, it's Ahriman. Then we also come from Tantric Hinduism. Because by the time you get to Middle Zoroastrianism, which is going to be the Pahlavi, which is what has survived in India, they went out of their way to demonize the Tantric Hindu gods. It started off with they were just false gods, false lights. And then when you got into the Orthodoxy, into the Middle Zoroastrianism, now it becomes demons or devils. And it's those demons and devils that are based on the Tantric pantheon, because the Middle Zoroastrians, once they got to India, they saw the Aghori Shivites, which are tantric, and that's how they base their whole concept of sorcery and sorcerers off of. And yes, we are sorcerers because we work magic. Magic is the oldest religion in the world. And so what defines us away from everybody else is the fact that we do not acknowledge, nor do we even care about any of the three Abrahamic religions. So to sum up, what we are is we are a complete system reconstructed from the concepts of tantric worship under the values of what Zoroastrianism considers evil. And we've reconstructed those same types of rituals, those same types of ideals to attack the righteous with, the righteous being the holy men. And not only do we plunder their righteous settlements, spiritually plunder their righteous settlements, we also are to vex the holy men of other religions, because part of that vexing is some of the worst types of sins that you could commit to be put in hell. And to us, hell is that paradise. And so the other changing aspect of us, when it comes to the afterlife, we believe that there's a heaven, we believe that there's a hell, and we also believe that there's reincarnation. And it's up to you to go through the process of the great liberation to attain the moksha. And if you want to go become one with Brahma and be absorbed into the sun and not have an independent existence, that's your choice. But there's also the alternative that we have, where when we go through the moksha, and instead of going and becoming one with Ahura Mazda or Brahma or whatever term you want to use, we become independent and can go into the realm of the Purusha, which is the matter of the entire universal construct, and that we can make sure that when we leave in the Swasara chakra, that we descend into the final layer of Nakara, which is where the devil and the Nagas and so forth are. So instead of moving ourselves towards a jeweled island with a jeweled altar and everything else, we're moving ourselves towards the pit where the jeweled Nagas are. And again, of course, obviously, we're using evil speech, evil thought, and evil action to produce these things to help guide us to hell as well. So to sum it all up, we are an evil ideology that believes in a cosmic order, that believes in theistic ways that are a combination of both the myriad physical world and the invisible working together to internally change ourselves, and that way we rule over our own universe, and that we are the creators, the destructors, and the guards of ourselves and our people, and we are working towards going to the bottom of hell and living with the devil there.